Hi, welcome to the Wicked Bite Culinary Tent. My name is Scott Whitley with Wicked Bites Radio and TV. And we have two more folks to come in our culinary tent today, and then we start it back up tomorrow at 12 noon, right after the radio show. I'll be broadcasting live. So grab some of the seats as you're walking by in our culinary tent, because I'm going to let you introduce yourself, because your products are sensational. Introduce yourself to the hungry folks out there in our crowd.
Hi everybody, my name is Adrienne Simeone and I am part of the family at Boston Salads and Prepared Foods. We're right in the heart of Boston. We've been there for over 31 years. My father started this company 31 years ago, and myself and my four brothers and my mother were continuing my father's tradition of making excellent prepared foods that would rival what you can make in your own home.
And their product is sensational. It really is. You don't have it here today, but I was talking a little bit that
the Asian sesame noodle.
I had that for the first time a couple of months ago, and I thought it was absolutely outstanding. I think you gave me like one of these big containers.
Yes.
I think I ate most of that in about a week.
Yeah, I think my kids are here and they can tell you they will eat it up whenever I get to bring it home. So if they ever come to work with me, I'm like, okay, let's go down to the distribution center and we'll get you a bucket so you guys aren't complaining you're hungry.
All right, I'm going to let you start. What are you making today?
So today, well, I kind of just want to, introduce our company. When my father started this over 30 years ago, it was really potato salad, coleslaw, macaroni, chicken, tuna. It was kind of boring, and we did that for a long time. So whenever anyone said, what do you guys do? We make potato salad. Now we make over 60 different kinds of recipes each week. We have a bakery. So today I have our Mediterranean orzo salad. And this is something like a lot of our recipes that is great on its own, but like a lot of things, you can zhuzh it up and make it something so that when you're having a party or something like that, and you want to be able to throw together something really fabulous, but not put a lot of work into it, that's what I want to show you with this today. So, I want to start with throwing down the baby spinach, because it's so light. Who here has cooked baby spinach? You know how it kind of cooks down to nothing when you're cooking it in the pan? So I know from experience, if I put this on top, it's going to overflow the whole pan and it's going to take over. So I want to make sure I throw this down and get the salad on top, because I need that weight or else it's going to go everywhere. So the nice thing about cooking, I also bake, but the nice thing about cooking is that it doesn't have to be an exact science. If you kind of just go by eye, I'm not Italian, but my husband is, so I kind of like to call into his mother, who you couldn't get a recipe out of them. There was no recipe, it was all in their head. They just did it by eye. And so that's kind of how I like to do things a lot of times when I'm cooking. It's not a recipe so much that I'm following, it's what's in my head. So I'm throwing the baby spinach down. Now our Mediterranean orzo has regular orzo, and it also has a toasted orzo. Carrots, green peppers, Kalamata olives, feta cheese. It already has a nice mix of things. So I like to just add the baby spinach because it just kind of gives it some dimension. A lot of people are like, oh, do you guys make garden salad? And my father would always say, there is not a single head of lettuce in our whole facility. We don't do anything with garden salads. It's all prepared salads. But I like this baby spinach because it makes it feel more like a regular salad that you're going to have, for a party. So right there, it already is kind of unique on its own. But so what I like to do to add another layer is also throw in some extra fresh vegetables. And today, and like I said, this is no exact science to this, so you can choose whatever you want. I know a lot of people, sometimes if they're not comfortable in the kitchen, they get nervous about what to put into a recipe and how much did you do it and this and that. Do what you like and experiment, and don't be afraid to try new things. So today I have these really fun grape tomatoes. I like them because it's not a lot of work to cut them up. You can get some tomatoes in the dish pretty quickly without having to get your cutting board all wet and deal with all the seeds that are hanging out. So I'm really a big fan of grape tomatoes. So if we get those going. But so, this is really just a great thing, especially holidays are coming up, or even for a dinner. When you want something to feel like you're eating a nice meal, and you just, especially myself, working full time and having the kids in school and stuff, you want to feed them something that is going to, give them that nutrition and feel like a nice homemade meal, but you just don't have the energy to just throw everything together all the time. So being able to take something like our Mediterranean orzo, or even like Scott had mentioned, our Asian sesame noodle. Now, I'm not adding any protein to this today, but you can absolutely add in shrimp or chicken, absolutely, or you can serve it on the side. So let's get some tomatoes going in there. And what I'm going to do with these vegetables, now ideally, you could definitely do this ahead of time, even, the morning before, the night before. But we're just going to kind of make a little fresh vegetable marinade with the tomatoes. And I'm just going to throw in some olive oil in there. And cucumbers are really nice for this, and especially today where it's hot out and you really don't feel like cooking, and you just want to eat something that's going to fill you up, but you just don't want to turn the oven on. Cucumbers are always a nice option. Now, I learned when I worked at a deli for a little while when I was in college that if you do that little every other with the line, does anyone else do that where you do every other on the line and it makes it look all fancy and they're like, oh my gosh, how did you do that? We used to do that all the time. Yeah. Which then my kids are like, I don't like the skin, cut it all off. You like the skin on? Yeah. I do remember when I worked at that deli, it was the first job that I had done outside of Boston Salads, and it was near where I was going to college, and I had always wanted to kind of try something different and be on the other side of the business and where people work with the food and not just manufacturing it. And that first day, getting sandwich orders and just getting stressed out about whether I was making everything right, I had nightmares that whole night, waking up thinking that people were ordering sandwiches from me, and I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. It was the most nerve-wracking thing, but I ended up loving it. It's really great being in the food service business and being able to feed people, and that's what I really like to do. I like to feed people and show them love with food, and so I'm really excited to be able to do that today here with you guys. So I'm adding some red onion, and we as a company, because a lot of our stuff, we make it ahead of time, we don't do a lot with red onion because it tends to bleed. But I love red onion. I know my husband loves red onion, so I thought it would be a nice addition to this salad because it doesn't include it, and it has a nice fresh bite, and it gives it that nice color. So especially if you're doing like a party or something like that, to be able to throw some red onion in there, it gives it a nice change of pace. So I got the vegetables in there. I'm just going to toss those around with the olive oil. And like I said, ideally, this is something you could do the day before, the morning before. And honestly, even though I don't practice this and people say it, it would be a nice thing to do with your kids. But as you probably know, you're going to spend a lot of time just sitting there and being like, oh my gosh, don't cut your finger off. And, oh, okay, you're not cutting, okay, go like this, go like this. So if you have patience, then this is a great thing to do. But I will say that my two oldest kids are very good with a knife. I didn't really do much in the kitchen growing up with my mom, and I really didn't do much of anything until I was like off into college learning how to feed myself. But I'm going to finish this off with a little bit of parsley. And it's just nice to have a little fresh herb in there. I feel like it gives you a little something. You're not really sure what it is or what herb it is, but it gives that a nice fresh flavor. And especially, parsley is one of those herbs that if you cook it in the garden, it doesn't die. I have parsley growing in my garden from last year that somehow made it through the winter, and it's still going strong. So if you just add a little parsley in there, and then we can do a squeeze of lemon. And then again, and you got to be careful for the seeds. If I don't have a juicer, I'll squeeze it upwards so no one gets that surprise of a seed in their salad. No one wants that. But just a little bit of lemon on the top. So I'm going to let that sit a minute. I'm going to toss this baby spinach in here some more, if you can see that. Salads too, especially when you're doing pasta salads are really, they're not the best the day you make them. They're really better when you let them sit for a day or two. So especially if you're doing something like a party or you want to have a dinner and you want it to really have the best flavor. To buy our Mediterranean orzo, you have it there, you know it's good to go. And this is just so nice, and honestly, it's just a healthy option to give people because, I don't know if you're like me, but you go to a party and it's like you're so torn between the food you really want to eat, and usually it's like there's a veggie platter and there's carrots, and you're like, that's what your choice is. You either have to eat carrots and dip, or you're going to go with the cheeseburger sliders. So to give someone the option of having something that's kind of, filling and still healthy is nice. So can you guys see that on the TV? Okay. Does anybody want some? Does anybody want to try it? All right. Okay, so you guys want to start serving that one out. Do you want me to send it over this way? Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I'm going to do the next one. Yeah. I'm going to go. Is there a trash I can dump this out here? Yeah. So I know we're at a seafood festival and it's like 85 degrees outside, but it is September. And it is pumpkin spice season. So the one thing I was really excited about that my father expanded upon with our company is that he added the bakery, because I think at heart I'm more of a baker than a cook, but I cook all the time regardless. But we make a pumpkin pudding. Who here likes pumpkin pie? But who does not always want to commit to a full pumpkin pie, but you want to get that pumpkin hit? So I was so excited when we started making pumpkin pudding, because it's like you get to have your pumpkin pie without the work of making a whole pie or buying a pie and committing to that pie. So our pumpkin pudding, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take ginger snaps, I'm going to smash them up, and we're going to do layers of pumpkin pudding, smashed ginger snaps, and whipped cream. Does that sound good? Okay, awesome. Now, depending on how you're doing this, you can do it in a big trifle bowl, like if you're going to have a party, or you can do individual servings. I love these little mason jars at home because I can put the lids on, put them in the fridge, and the kids can grab them as they go. So I'll show it to you in this, but we got cups that we can send them out to you guys. I know, I don't know, it feels wrong to do pumpkin right now at the beach, but we're going with it anyway. It's still September, which my kids were so big. Who here likes sweater weather? Sweater weather, yes. We were so excited to wear our sweaters this week, and now I'm like, whoa, what happened? We got back to summer for the weekend, so. But that's all right, I'll take it, because I don't want the fall and the winter to come too fast. So literally, just putting these in a Ziploc bag and smashing them up. And you want it to be, pretty decently smashed, because unless you're having this sit for a while, it's not going to absorb too much of the pumpkin pudding right away and get kind of mushy. I also read that you could do this with pumpkin Oreos. And I went to the store today to see if I could find pumpkin Oreos for you guys, but they didn't have them. But that sounds like a delicious option too. But it's nice to have the ginger snap, because you get a little bit of that bite of the ginger, so that you get the sweetness of the pumpkin, and you just get a little bit of that sharpness from the ginger snaps. So There's no wrong way to do this, but I'm going to start with a little ginger snap at the bottom. That way you get the one layer in there. And depending on how big your dish is, that's going to depend on how thick you want your layer to go. Now, this is how everything comes in our place at Boston Sal's. We sell everything in 5-pound buckets. And if you're asking us, can I go to your place and buy a 5-pound bucket? The answer is yes, you can. If you call ahead of time, you can order a 5-pound bucket. But we have lots of distributors and retailers all throughout New England. I'm going to do it like this. That carry our products. When we were, small and growing, it was always a struggle to find a place that carried it. But now we're everywhere. So a lot of times retailers will just say that they make it themselves. They don't always, oh, that's gonna be messed. Oh, there we go, I saved it. A pastry bag is one of my best friends. Oops. So I'm just gonna move this back out of the way. Do a little layer of pumpkin, and then, should we have paper towel? Yeah, we'll go. So I got pumpkin hands. Hit that, which I am kind of a whipped cream purist. I do like to make my own whipped cream, but when you're in a pinch, the canned stuff's okay. So there you go. And you can put, just to get the feel for it, you can put a little bit of the crumble on the top. And there you go. You got a little pumpkin pie in a jar. So let me get these portioned out for you guys. How many people are looking to sample the pumpkin? Okay, a lot. We'll get going here. One thing we make too that is even just as delicious as our pumpkin pudding, we make an apple crisp. Who here likes apple crisp? Our apple crisp is just like you would make at home. We just use the apples, the oatmeal, the brown sugar, the butter, and we bake it off. We freeze it, and honestly, you can't even tell that it's been frozen. It's really delicious. It's going to be at a lot of the fairs this fall. If you're going to like the Topsfield Fair, it's going to be there.
Can I put ice cream on it? Let it melt all over?
Yes. Oh, it's so good.
It's one of my favorites.
When I used to go into work before, you would come in and you would just smell potatoes or mayonnaise, and it was like, oh, that's not so great. Now when we walk in, I smell cinnamon and apples baking because the bakery is right by the office, and oh, it's the best. Oops, I missed that one. Do you guys have a tray? You want to start sending these out? Okay, awesome. Which hopefully they're I'm gonna ditch that one and start fresh. Is it good? Yeah. Yeah, nice and light.
So tell me a little bit about Boston Salad, about all the different products that you have.
Yeah. A lot of people know us for our cranberry walnut chicken salad. Has anybody ever tried cranberry walnut chicken salad here? It's like our #1 seller. The chances are, if you have cranberry walnut chicken salad and you've tried it, you've probably tried ours. A lot of people like to say that it's their own, but we're kind of the best kept secret in New England when it comes to prepared foods. And the reason why is because we make everything in small batches. So even though we're a manufacturer and we follow certain protocol, we're making it the same way you would make it at home, just in a larger quantity.
And the safety precautions. I was back when they make a lot of their products. Not only do you put on like one of those lab coats, but you put a lab coat on top of the lab coat. And you got the shoes, you got the hairnet on, and I don't know how, they probably have about 30 degrees in the back when they're preparing the products. But even after that, it goes through an x-ray machine?
Where everything goes through a metal detector, and then our chicken salad products will start going through x-ray machines pretty soon. And that's just a precaution we're taking. That's above and beyond actually what the regulations require. But it's just, food safety is such an important part of our work. Because there is just such a risk in preparing ready-to-eat food. So we take that role really seriously at our work. But we make a ton of different pasta salads. Like Scott mentioned, the Asian sesame noodle. Our Tortellini Pesto is one of my favorites. You can serve that hot or cold. And I've always had the experience where you get tortellinis and they're really not that good.
Yeah,
You're kind of like, I don't know. Our tortellinis are magical. They are really
colorful.
good. Yeah.
They're colorful because they're tricolor, right?
Yeah, we use a tricolor cheese tortellini. But those things are loaded with cheese. You definitely get a nice bite out of it.
Oh, that's why I like it so much.
Yeah. But I mean, there's so many things that people can do with our salads. I was saying to Scott, we make a classic chicken salad, but there's so many things that you can add into chicken salad. One of my favorite things to do right now, I have a neighbor who's from Korea, and she introduced me to gochujang. Has anybody heard of gochujang? It's a Korean red chili sauce. It's just got a different taste to it, and adding some gochujang to it and scallions, really, really good. How is that tasting for everybody? Good, good. But yeah, so our website is bostonsalads.com. We're doing some renovations on the site. We've had some changes and I'm trying to update things. But we have a ton of retailers that carry our products. McKinnon's, does anyone go to McKinnon's? They're one of our biggest retailers. We have a great relationship with them. They've been using our products for dozens of years. Oh, you know what? Did we do the spoons? Or did you guys use your spoons? Okay, that's fine. Yeah, whatever you want to do. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think I gotta make some more. Well, actually, you know what? You guys took my cups for the pumpkin thing, for the thing. You got any more? Okay. Okay, all right. Okay. Yeah, whatever you want to do.
Again, Boston Salads, the website is still, you're revamping your website.
Yeah, but all the links are there and people can get product information. We manage our social media, so if you ever want to reach out to us on Instagram or Facebook and say, hey, this is where I shop, where can I find your products, we can absolutely point you in the right direction.
And if you've seen the name Boston Salad in the supermarket, you know it's going to be a quality product. And that's the most important thing. And if it's not in your favorite specialty market or supermarket, tell somebody, ask them. They should order it. They should bring it in because I know will be a big hit at those places.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Anytime people communicate to the store directly that they want them to carry something, they'll listen. Because, you know, when we go in there and we say, hey, you know, this is our company, we'd love, you know, to introduce you, you know, we're just another salesman. But when you guys go in there and say, hey, have you guys heard of this company? You should carry it. You know, that is really the best advice that, you know, we can give to people to help us spread the word about our company. I mean, we're a small company, and we're competing with a lot of big companies that are kind of nationally based. A lot of salad companies are based in the middle of the country. So those products come from a far distance to get to the store. They have to add, you know, certain preservatives to get shelf life on the product to make it last. And that's the benefit to using our products, being based right here in Boston. We're making our products 5 days a week. We make chicken salad every single day of the week. So it's constantly fresh product getting put out there. Yeah, I can. Oh, sorry about that. Good.
All right, who's tried the desserts? Yeah, can't go wrong with that, right?
That's okay, whatever you want to use. There's no wrong way. So what do you guys think of the pumpkin pudding? Does it taste like pumpkin pie? Is it good? Thank you. It's real pumpkin, yeah. One time, my brother is the production manager, and he was telling us one time that the guy that was mixing it in the mixer, he forgot about it and went on break, and so like came back like 30 minutes later, and we had like pumpkin mousse like coming out of the thing. But yeah, no, the one thing that my father was always about, and myself too, is that I want to make a product that I would be proud to eat of in my house. We're not looking to make things the fastest way, the cheapest way. We're definitely, you know, out there for quality and safety. Those are our first two goals. And you know, a lot of people out there will be like, you know, they want cheap potato salad. I'm like saying, you know what? Before people eat cheap potato salad, don't you want good potato salad? Don't you want to eat something good? You're not always looking for the cheapest thing out there. So, you know, that's our goal, to make the best product possible. We don't add that much mayonnaise and dressing, because the more of that you add, a lot of times they do that so they can pump it. They can pump it in these big machines and get it out as fast as possible. This summer, we scooped so many pounds of potato salad. It was crazy. Little retail cups and everything, because that's the best way to get you a good quality product. You're gonna need to do more? Okay. Okay. I'll use these bowls? Okay.
Again, this is Boston Salad and Prepared Foods. And you can find there's a lot in the delis. A lot of your local delis will serve their products as well. And then you probably have no idea you're having their product.
A lot of times, if it has the store name on it, they're probably not making it themselves. Unless it says store made, but then I've seen even our product being promoted as being store made, and I just kind of chuckle a little bit. But the work that it takes to make these foods is no joke. So, you know, we kind of have our systems down pat. And like I said, we're located right in Boston, so we have the ability to take care of all the retailers in New England and give them a fresh product.
Do you have your own like test kitchen too for new products and
yeah,
stuff?
well actually today I'm featuring our chef Tarek's chef jacket. I stole it from him.
I thought you were awfully formal today.
He was so sad that he wasn't able to come. But yeah, Tarek and I together, we work on putting together a lot of the recipes. One thing that we're trying out for this fall, and I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it, sweet potato casserole. Does anyone, you have? It's not that common up here. It's more of a southern thing. But I've probably been making it for 10 years for Thanksgiving. I make it every Thanksgiving. And so I'm kind of on a mission to introduce that into New England because I think it's so delicious. So we just finished testing that out, and I'm really excited. So I'm hoping that we can get some people interested in it for the holidays because I think it's just so delicious. We're also working on some more Asian recipes. We have access to some really nice Asian sauces. This new Asian sauce company came in, and so we're looking to do some more noodle-based dishes, like the Asian sesame noodle.
All right, who needs some? So I know how many? About
10?
12-ish. I was told there would be no math. Again, Boston Salad and Prepare Foods. We have Chris Pike here next. He'll be our final chef demonstrator of the day coming up in just a few moments. So get ready for that. I know he has some great food, and he's also going to tell you about how to make a Thanksgiving gravy as well. So, because we're coming, could you believe it? We're coming into that season.
I know. It flies by. As soon as the kids come back to school, it's like it's Halloween and it's Thanksgiving. Which, and I will say, from a food perspective, I have heard there's going to be a cranberry sauce shortage. So if you unless you make it yourself, if you just get it from the grocery store, you might be out of luck. I would stock up now if you want to just grab a couple cans because they're telling us it's not going to be good. So we make a cranberry sauce, but we use a cranberry sauce base to make it, and we are hunting it down for the holidays. And the nice thing too about our products, and you might not think about this, and I've been wanting to do a social media post. Anybody after these ones won't get the graham crackers, unfortunately. We're gonna have to just do the pumpkin pudding. But chicken salad, tuna salad, even egg salad, that's a great protein. Yes, please. To put in your kids' lunch. And you don't even have to make it as a sandwich. You can serve it to them in one of those bento boxes and give them crackers and celery and carrots, or even like when we're going, bringing lunch to work or whatever. It doesn't have to be a sandwich. It's kind of nice to get that hit of protein. Especially, I don't know if anybody here has protein goals, but it's like when you're trying to eat healthy and you want to get that protein, it's really nice to be able to have a little bit of chicken salad or tuna salad. Especially if carbs aren't your friend. But if anybody here is on social media, we're on Instagram especially, and Facebook. I'd love for you guys to follow us on there. When people share our posts and talk about where they found our product, that's really the best advertising we can ask for. So now that I've made a huge mess.
No, just a little bit. It's finger licking good, as they would say, right? How'd you do?
Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Boston Salad, the website address again is?
BostonSalads.com.
Pretty easy to get, right?
Yep.
Let's give her a big hand, big round of applause.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. This is the first time you've been in our culinary tent on the hottest day that we've been down here. One of the biggest days on the beach as well. All right, we're going to clean up, and we got one more coming up today. Get ready. Chris Pike is in the house. Things are going to get kind of tasty. Once again, where is Chris?
Right there.
Chris, you making? Chicken cutlet and chicken gravy. So if you're ready, that's coming up in just a few moments, okay? One more big hand again for Boston Salads and Prepared
Thank you,
Foods.
guys.